You could be going to the US for business and tourism, as a student, or as a dependent. There's a lot more reasons that you might be going to the US, but as long as you are going on a non-immigrant visa, you will need to prove that you will come back to your country after you're done with the purpose of your trip. Because the visa officer will assume by default that you are going to immigrate, and it is your job to prove to them that you have strong home ties due to which you're going to be coming back home. Hence, what you really need to focus on is strong ties to your country. That is to show the visa officer that you will be coming back anyhow. Here's a myth. A lot of people believe that to show strong ties to your country, you must own a house, you must have a spouse, you must have a job, you must have children, or countless other things that are very difficult to attain for many of you guys out there. While I'm not saying that these resources are not helpful, they're certainly going to have an edge over other applicants, but there is a lot more involved. Because if that was not the case, then me, myself, and 10,000 plus people that I've helped actually who did not have access to these things would have never gotten a visa. At the same time, people who have all of these resources also many times have been seen rejected. I'm sure you must know about such cases. So these are not the only details that the visa officer is looking for. So what really matters? Well, your overall responses, your body language matters much more than anything. Many people think that it's documents. No, it's not your documents. Documents are needed in case you need to prove something to the visa officer, but many visa officers know already that documents can be faked. So the consulars do not usually consider documents to prove, essentially to take as proof, your home ties to the country. But the whole interview in itself is always about home ties if you really think about it. When the officer asks you, what are your plans after graduation? You must show clear intent to come back to your country. When they ask you who is sponsoring you and why, your answer should be something like, my parents are helping me so that I can help improve their business after this degree. Or my employer is sponsoring me so that I can go ahead and grab the position of a senior manager once I come back after my degree. Or it could be something like, I'm taking up a loan to upskill myself as have many of my seniors in order to gain a team lead position at Infosys. Hence, you must realize that the interview in itself is always going forward in a direction which tries to see, tangentially at least, that there is either non-immigrant intent or there isn't. And you have to make sure that you prove that there isn't. So what are the best ways to prove home ties, guys? I'm going to be giving you 3 ways in this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, by the way. And if you ever face issues regarding your own preparation, maybe your case is a bit complicated, you can take a look at the US Visa mock interview service on our website on YMGrad.com, and you can easily connect with one of our counseling team members who have helped thousands of students get through this interview. And we'll build up the answers for you. We'll tell you what questions to prepare for, and we'll actually prepare you and we'll take mock interview rounds for you guys. You can also connect with me using the WhatsApp number in the description so that I can help you personally one-on-one if you require. Now, moving on to the best ways to prove those home ties. The number 1 way I have for you is to show employer ties. This is a very good way that we developed, and the reason that this works so beautifully is that it makes sense. It's really as simple as that. So in this methodology, what do? You mentioned that you will be joining your dream organization after the degree. Now, this dream organization could be something that you're already working in or that you have no knowledge about. But if you're already working in this dream organization, and remember, this dream organization should be within your country itself, in that case, what you want to do in most cases is that you want to go on to your manager in that case and ask him or her that, can you please give me a letter stating that you will be promoting me to this and this position after the degree, or at least considering me for this and this position after this degree, which is essentially why I will be able to use this letter, right? Once I have this, right, I'll be able to use this in front of the visa officer. And that simply makes sense that you're going overseas to upskill yourself, you're coming back and you're essentially working with this employer in your dream job. We also have 2 other methods though, so don't worry. The second one is to use your assets. And when I say use your assets, I just don't mean that you say, hey, I have this land, or I have this job, or I have this family. Use your assets. What does it mean? Let me give you an example. Let's say if you have your father's company, right? What you do is you use your assets. You say, hey, I'm going on to pursue this management degree so that I can help my father in improvement of his business, because he does not have a management degree and he's been looking for someone, and I believe I can be that person to grow his company. Again, of course, that was a little too long, but I hope you get the point. The point was that you get the point across. Let's say that you have a plot. In that case, you don't just say, hey, I have a plot in my country, that's why I'm going to come back. What are you going to do with the plot? You can sell the plot, right? So of course, that's not good enough. But here's what I would say. I plan on using the knowledge from this program to generate income from a plot of land that I have in a very prominent area of town right now, right? So you see how I use the assets instead of just stating that I have some of these assets. Now again, if you have nothing else, then of course family ties in that case work soon. But the problem with this is that the officer would have heard these time and time again. So still, however, they've worked for a lot of clients and these are the best backup options. So you may cite that you have family members who need support from you. So they would be your responsibility, and there's no way that you can actually hold off in the US when they are not over there. You could have your spouse, your children with you. But remember, the problem with spouse and children is that they can be later on taken with you to the US on a dependent visa and most of the non-immigrant visas. Hence, what I would suggest is stick to the parents methodology or grandparents or whatever basically that you cannot import with you to the United States. These were just some of the tips and tricks, and trust me guys, we have a lot more where this came from. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on Instagram, because we post such secrets a lot of times for you guys for free, just like that. Other than that, I hope this video helps. All the best for your interview, and I'll see you in the next one.